Why is it said that after Han Li successfully formed his nascent soul, the one who regretted it most was Ling Huleozu? When he met Han Li again, his heart was filled with a jumble of emotions. Yet, by then, it was too late to slap his thighs in remorse. Back in the day, when the army of the demonic path invaded, Ling Huleozu, as the supreme elder of Huangfeng Valley, made a cruel decision to preserve the valley's core strength. He ordered Han Li and a group of other disciples to lure the demonic path cultivators away, while he himself fled in haste with the core disciples and the sect's treasures. Han Li and his companions were soon surrounded by the ferocious demonic path cultivators, even trapped in a desperate situation. Han Li fought fiercely amid the battle, and on several occasions, he narrowly escaped death at the hands of the demonic cultivators. If his master, Li Huayuan, hadn't rushed to his rescue just in time, he would have surely perished in that disaster. However, in less than 200 years, Ling Huleozu never imagined that Wei Lin and Han Li, whom he had once treated as disposable pawns, would have defied all odds to break through to the nascent soul stage in such a short time. It must be noted that becoming a nascent soul cultivator at over 200 years old is an extremely rare talent and opportunity, even across the entire cultivation world. Such a person is bound to become a top-tier powerhouse dominating a region in the future. In contrast, Ling Huleozu himself was already decrepit, with only over 20 years of lifespan left. He knew well that once he passed away ascended, in cultivation terms, Huangfeng Valley would no longer have a nascent soul cultivator to take charge. In this cultivation world, where the strong prey on the weak, without the support of powerful strength, it would be impossible to protect the precious cultivation resources, and it might even bring disaster to the sect's disciples. The decline of Huangfeng Valley would only be a matter of time. The more Ling Huleozu thought about it, the more terrifying it became, and he began to scheme. If he could win Han Li over and persuade him to return to Huangfeng Valley, everything would be different. With a great expert like Han Li, Huangfeng Valley would not only avoid decline, but also have a bright future ahead. In his view, abandoning Han Li back then was just a helpless move, and such things were not uncommon in the cultivation world. Moreover, faced with such huge benefits now, Han Li should no longer hold a grudge about the past. So Ling Huleozu lost no time in finding Han Li, beaming with smiles and making numerous promises. He said that if Han Li was willing to be the elder of Huangfeng Valley, he would not only present some extremely precious treasures, but also stated that when he passed away in the future, the entire Huangfeng Valley would be under Han Li's control. He even earnestly played the fellow disciple sentiment card, saying that if Huangfeng Valley had no nascent soul cultivator to take charge, Han Li's former fellow disciples would likely be destroyed by other powerful sects. Ling Huleozu's move, offering generous gifts while appealing to fellow disciple feelings, was indeed a clever one. But Han Li just smiled calmly and refused without hesitation. Han Li saw through the situation clearly. Once he became the elder of Huangfeng Valley, he would be tied down by countless trivial matters. As Huangfeng Valley was caught in the complicated entanglements of various forces in the cultivation world, such as the Six Sects and the Nine Kingdoms Alliance, becoming an elder would force him to deal with these tricky issues. In that case, how would he have the time and energy to seclude himself for cultivation? For Han Li, who was wholeheartedly pursuing a higher cultivation realm, this would undoubtedly be fatal. In contrast, he felt much more free and unrestrained staying in Liyun sect, where he could immerse himself in cultivation wholeheartedly every day. Besides, all members of his master Li Huayuan's lineage were already dead, and he had no close relationship with other fellow disciples. Their life or death was really not something he could bring himself to care about deeply. More importantly, Han Li also planned to openly retrieve Nangongwan from Yanyu sect. Yanyu sect would surely hate him to the core for this. Additionally, Wei Wuya, who was in the late nascent soul stage, was also a difficult character to deal with. If he returned to Huangfeng Valley at this time, he would inevitably face retaliation from Yanyu sect and Wei Wuya in the future, which would be far too dangerous. In comparison, staying in Liyun sect would allow him to rely on the sect's power to ensure his safety for a while. Seeing Han Li's firm attitude, Ling Hu Leozu knew he couldn't force him, so he had to settle for the next best thing. He then took out 3 precious treasures from his collection and begged to exchange them for 3 favors from Han Li. These 3 treasures were the Blue Light Shield, a 7th grade monster core, and a Jade Talisman. The Blue Light Shield emitted a faint blue glow and had astonishing defensive power. Once activated, it could form an indestructible shield, even capable of withstanding a full-force attack from a mid-stage Nascent Soul Cultivator. The 7th grade monster core was obtained by Ling Hu Leozu after he ventured deep into the dangerous lair of a monster, fought hard, and killed a 7th grade iron-winged carving. It had a wide range of uses, whether for alchemy to enhance cultivation, refining chi to boost the power of magical artifacts, or feeding spirit beasts to help them advance. It held inestimable value. As for the Jade Talisman, it dated back to the ancient times, and its crafting method had long been lost. Ling Hu Leozu had obtained it during an adventure by chance, although he had never been able to fully master its usage and could only unleash a fraction of its power. This alone was enough to show how precious it was. Looking at these 3 treasures, Han Li couldn't help but felt moved. Furthermore, out of gratitude for his master Li Huayuan having saved his life back then, Han Li thought for a moment and agreed to Ling Hu Laozu's deal. He took out 3 formation discs and handed them to Ling Hu Leozu. These represented his 3 promises to help. If Huangfeng Valley encountered a crisis in the future, they could use the formation discs to contact him, and he would definitely help within his capabilities. In this way, although Huangfeng Valley failed to make Han Li an elder, it at least managed to secure Han Li's support, gaining a certain degree of protection. Before Ling Hu Leozu passed away, he informed the other 5 sects of this agreement with Han Li. By then, Han Li's strength was growing day by day, and he had become famous throughout the cultivation world. Other sects were well aware of his power and did not dare to provoke him easily. Relying on Han Li's reputation, Huangfeng Valley was able to barely maintain its status in the ever-changing cultivation world. Later, Huangfeng Valley recruited several disciples with heavenly spiritual roots, and new nascent soul cultivators also emerged in the sect. Under the leadership of these new nascent soul cultivators, Huangfeng Valley gradually regained its vitality and flourished again after many years. For his part, Han Li obtained the treasures he desired through this deal, further enhancing his strength. Huangfeng Valley, too, survived and developed in its difficult situation. Thanks to Han Li's promise of protection, this deal was truly a win-win situation for both Han Li and Huangfeng Valley, and this was the best possible outcome. Ling Hu Leozu did not morally coerce Han Li into becoming an elder. Han Li did not hold on to the past incidents or make exorbitant demands. Exchanging 3 treasures for 3 times of protection not only helped Huangfeng Valley get through its crisis, but also allowed Han Li to make up for his shortcomings in defense. The 2 sides helped each other achieve their goals. This is the choice that wise people should make.